I would love to hear how the master goes about flow state. What does that mean to you? To me, it just pretty simply is just like a state of complete focus where you feel like you're on the limitless pill. You just can't be interrupted. I feel myself when I'm in it, but I don't know, everything to do to lead up to that. So maybe M7, you could talk about, how you enter flow state or what that means to you.
Bro, student roundup was fucking on fire in the academy. What is going on, bro?
What's going on? Like, I'm feeling like I came from PhD session 2.5 hours into student roundup for half an hour, and now you have a space here.
Yeah, dude.
I'm so amped up.
The PhD session was fire, bro. Fire.
Because I'm afraid today is the day. I'm gonna say something people will hate me for, so I'm better be quiet today because 4 hours of mindset, that's having a toll on me.
Well, bro, I'm just telling you, you bringing up and going over all of the stuff you were going over in the PhD session, I thought that's one of the reasons why I'm in such a good fucking mood today, bro. Honestly. You were dropping some serious fire in there, so
yeah, but like it's not even me, Sometimes I have the feeling when I'm talking here, or even when I'm talking to the students, right? Like it's just me talking. It's this guy M7 pretending to be whatever professional, has been professional, right? So people have an easy excuse to say, it's just a guy from Twitter. Who even knows? He's an Indian using a voice changer, right? So then I'm bringing up like something what we did today in the PhD session, where like one of the best, like a person who is in the 0.1% of his peers, like super alpha, right? And I hear people talking about meditation or something like that, and I hear man, like man. They think they are man, right? But they are not, right? So they say, meditation is nothing for me, like that's something for women or whatever, right? And you have like one of the most baddest persons in terms of his skill set, proving it in, I guess, the most hostile environment you can find these days. And talks openly about that, right? Talks about every single thing we are saying here, like literally tells the people into the face, listen, stop being... I wanted to say the P word, but like, stop being like you are. You have to work.
Oh, you can say that in here, bro.
Yeah, I don't want to insult the ladies in here, right?
Mind. The audience. Well, there are ladies, and I get that, but they've got brothers, they've got sons,
oh, yeah.
They've got uncles, they've got dads. They've heard people say pussy.
Yeah, true that.
So anyway, I'm not afraid of saying it, and I understand if you don't want to, but I'm just saying.
No, but like you listen to this guy, right? And like he just like 4 days ago did something which, first of all, nobody was expecting from him, and he dropped such a bomb. It was like such a monumental achievement for this guy, right? And he's telling you exactly what I'm saying. What I'm saying here in the trading spaces, what I'm saying in the roundups, what I'm saying in the sessions I do in the academy, right? Stop being a pussy, right? Man the fuck up. Emotion is just like an excuse. You have the power to control your emotions. And if you say you can't, it's just because you're weak. That's what it is. It's not nice to hear. Everybody has been there. I had moments where I was like super emotional in my life. It's nothing bad, right? But like it's an excuse, right? You deciding what emotions you want to feel and you feel, like that's all up to you, right? And you just have to open your eyes and look around. Like if you don't believe me, go around and check the most successful people and what they are doing, and you will see this. I posted it yesterday on YouTube. 2.5 hours going through literally every single word this guy is saying, Sean O'Malley, for those who have not seen my post, right? And he's literally giving you the blueprint to success. Like, obviously you don't want to become an MMA fighter, but like the principle is, this is just, people don't understand it yet, right? They just have to wake up. And yeah, so again, I'm talking even without wanting to talk, but like I'm just getting back. And yes, people were on fire today because it's the truth, right? And not hearing it from me, hearing it from a completely different person. When you see Sean O'Malley, right, and you just have seen pictures or something on Twitter, you think, oh, who's that guy with the pink hairs and everything? But then you spend this 40 minutes listening. This guy has the perfect mindset for a trader. And guess what? That's the mindset a trader needs, right? And when you see him, you don't think that from him. But like, he's a super dedicated family man, right? Like, he has a 3-year-old daughter, right? He's everything you think when you see him. And then when you listen to him, this guy is, I don't know what I decide, like what inspires me more, the way he's fighting, because I'm a sports fan, as everybody knows. I love MMA. I'm doing it myself. But with this guy, that's the first time that I'm really not sure. Do I inspire him for his skill set in the sport? Or do I even more being inspired by this person because of his mindset? This is just crazy. So enough. Talking too much.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, that visualization, I think, is so key, right? And I just loved some of those points that he made and that were brought up in the discussion today. As a trader, you have to already know what's coming with all of the work and time and effort that you're putting in. You have to know. You have to wake up, breathe it, feel it, believe it, and you get knocked down, you get back up. And you're gonna get hurt. You're gonna get fucking knocked out. Because that's what happens in the hardest fucking industry in the goddamn world. In the arena that we operate in.
I mean, just listen to this. Like, the guy it's 4 days since he literally became the biggest super sport after McGregor, right? This guy is 28 years old, right? 6 years ago, he was already projecting what was happening on Sunday, right? And the guy is telling you, and you can see it on his reaction, he is not baffled by it, right? You see, the guy is going back after winning the championship, the world champion title, and makes the biggest history in his weight division, right? He's just going back and he's training and he's looking for the next thing to do. It's so calculated, such a high level mindset game. It's just blazing for me, blazing.
Yeah. Speaking of mindset, we got Taylor, we got Twists, we got Mr. Wicks, we got Profitable, we got Focus. We have some phenomenal folks with a speaker tag here. It's Friday, the end of the week. Oh, I know what song I have to play. I just saw Ainsley. I'm definitely going to pull it up, and we're definitely going to play it. But talking about mindset, talking about excellence, Twists, Taylor, do you mind jumping in?
Yeah, sure. First off, what's up, guys? Dude, it's so funny when you guys have your spaces and it's about something I just talk about with someone else. Because I was literally just talking to Tanya before I joined the space, and everything you guys are talking about is what we're going through. And what we were talking about the most was like flow state and how to get there and what that really means. And hearing M7 talk about Sean O'Malley. First of all, that fight was awesome. If anyone hasn't seen it, it's on YouTube. UFC posted it. It was a great fight. But also, I would love to hear how the master goes about flow state. And if you talk about that with your students, how do you enter it? Is that something you guys talk about? I mean, I'm sure you do, but what does that mean to you? To me, it just pretty simply is just like a state of complete focus where you feel like you're on the limitless pill. You just can't be interrupted. But it's hard for me to recognize how to get into it. I feel myself when I'm in it, but I don't know everything to do to lead up to that. So maybe M7, you could talk about, how you enter flow state or what that means to you.
Well, it's so funny. Like sometimes life is just funny and we should be just grateful because you come up with this and like this is literally 1 hour we talked about in the PhD session. We exactly talked about that because O'Malley is talking about it. So for those who don't know or have not seen the podcast he made after, like he was saying, like the moment when he knocked out Sterling, right? He's not remembering the moment, right? Like afterwards when the fight was over and they showed him the replay, it was like for him, like watching, like he is the director of a movie and he's just watching the movie he did. He's also saying that the moment when he entered this fight into the octagon, he was saying it's crazy because the moment I step my feet on the canvas, I feel so fast. I am so fast. My movement is so fast. My footwork is so fast. This is crazy because he's saying when I go sparring, when I do my training, I'm not that fast. It doesn't feel that fast. And that's the reason why in this one kick where he dropped down because like he's saying like I dropped down because I had too much energy. It was like I was too fast for the guy. And that's why he failed this kick and dropped on his ass. And he's saying all of that afterwards, right? So, and we talked about this flow state. So like we have one student which is remarkable in the academy. So maybe some of you have seen the video or the interview with him on YouTube. But like he's like literally killing it. Believe it or not, he's not only outperforming, like this month he made 5 times more than I made myself. So believe it or not, the guy is sitting on a literally 200 R on a real money account for this month. It's crazy, believe it or not. So anyway, we were talking about this and I was asking him because you asked the question. So like I know when I'm entering the flow state and I have a good understanding when I'm going into the flow state when I'm trading. But I was asking him if he recognized any changes in the last 4 months regarding how he sees price. And like he was saying, like sometimes he has this feeling when he's like literally entering in a state of looking at price and having this feeling and this focus to completely, it's a feeling he's saying, he's describing it as something looking at price and knowing exactly what will happen and what he has to do. And I think you are super right. Like being in the flow state is super focused, almost being, it feels a little bit like a slow-mo, right? You are so focused, it's like, you can call it like a tunnel.
You're losing track of time.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't feel time anymore. It's a weird feeling, right? But he's saying like he got this. He doesn't know how to enter it, but he got this now. And like 3 months before he was not. And then he asked me the same question like you. And he was like, okay, so how do you enter this flow state? And I was saying like, I can enter this like with my 18 years, like I can do this whenever I'm completely focused. So when I'm alone in front of my PC and I'm starting trading, it's literally, I'm quieting my mind completely. So I remove any thoughts, anything what I have. I have one song which is particular to me, which I like to put on my ears before I start trading. And when there's nothing, no Discord, no Twitter, I turn off everything. And when I really want to focus on trading, I focus on that and then I'm getting into the state. It's almost like pressing a button to really focus, completely ignoring my whatever thoughts I have, right? And it feels like, or like how I describe it, it's like this tunnel, but I'm literally during this whole time, and that's the crazy thing, I don't remember any thoughts I had. So when I'm done with it or when I'm done with trading, I look at literally my stuff and I don't remember any thought I have during this time. It's like, it feels like being completely focused on an autopilot. But it's the same like he's describing it. I don't remember pressing a button, or I don't remember, not in this crazy that I don't know what I'm doing, but I don't remember the thinking process. Normally, if you ask people when they are trading, and they're looking at a trade and they want to take a trade, they remember exactly their decision making and what they have seen and what their thoughts and their emotion. And this is like when I'm entering the state, I'm so much in the tunnel, I forget time. I can look 2 hours at price and it feels like 5 minutes, right? And I don't remember any thinking process. And so there is the science behind it, right? People think this is like limitless pill and all of this stuff. But like there is we already have the scientific proof for it. So you have a consciousness and a subconsciousness, right? So let's make a picture, right? So your consciousness, your brain, is more or less like a normal desktop PC, right? Some of you have two 4090s in there. Some of you have maybe one 4090, one have an Intel, the other guy has a AMD. All good, right? But your subconscious, in comparison to your consciousness, is like a server farm. So you have 100 times the processing power and the RAM and whatever you can imagine with a computer. So our subconsciousness is 100 times more powerful when it comes to solving complex things and understanding complex decision-making processes, right? So people who are talking about the flow state, what on a scientific level happens on the brain and everything, is that they completely submit to their subconsciousness. Some people call it the higher consciousness or the higher self takes over, but it's literally on a science perspective, it's literally the subconsciousness, your subconsciousness is taking over, right? So now a lot of people ask, how is it possible? So first of all, you have to understand our subconsciousness is not working with money, promotion or something like that. Our subconsciousness is connected to emotions, right? So if you want to have your subconsciousness helping you with solving problems or activating it, it needs to be connected to emotion. And maybe some of you have experienced that in the past already when you did another job and you were very good in this job and there was like a high level stake situation and where you maybe entered already this flow state. So we had one student who was like a software engineer and he said he had this during his career as a software engineer. He had this 2 times in his career. And these 2 moments leveled him up so much in his profession. And I asked him, okay, so was there a lot of emotions connected to this event? And he said, yes, because obviously that was deciding if I level up 3 levels in my job or not. So there was a lot of emotional connection to it, and that's how he activated his subconsciousness. And the subconsciousness really helped him to solve such a complex problem in his field, software engineering, which then led to what happened afterwards, so that he became a very successful person in this area. So to activate the subconscious in general, you have to connect it to emotion. And the proof for that is very easy because subconscious works also in the opposite around. So flight response or negative emotions, you are activating your subconsciousness, just like in the way you normally don't want to activate it, right? So the first thing to constantly reach the personal flow state is to connecting whatever you're doing, trading, MMA, whatever is your passion, right? Let's disconnect this a little bit for trading. First of all, this activity and whatever you want to achieve has to be connected to an elevated emotion, happiness, for example. So that's number 1, because else, if you have negative emotions, what a lot of people have with trading connected, you actually doing the same. So the subconsciousness will try to avoid you getting successful as much as possible for trading. That's a very important sentence you have to listen to. If your trading is connected with negative emotions, you literally... So if this is the server farm where a program is running in the background, right? So the program you're playing every time you're getting on your desk is a virus, a malware, right? It's not going to support you to get successful. Very important to understand. So, and the second thing is the programs which are running in our subconsciousness. There is no magicness. There is no almighty God sitting inside of you or the universe. That's more spiritual. I like science. So there is nothing, you don't have like the God particle inside of you. So you don't, like, your subconsciousness doesn't know everything, right? So to constantly reach flow state, it's literally the repetition and putting the work and the sweat into some field you want to do. Let it be MMA, let it be training, let it be football, whatever. It's the repetition, which trains your subconsciousness, right? Like, imagine it like you're a software engineer and you're writing a program. So the repetition and the constantly doing a specific task is going to write this software program. You're writing the code for the program, which is then running in your subconsciousness. So that's why people like Brian, Kobe Bryant, like MJ, like Sean O'Malley, and all of these guys, everybody talks about the same, right? It's the repetitiveness of doing the same task. And when Sean O'Malley is talking about the punch he was throwing, this was a punch and a fight he visualized 100 times in his head per day, he's saying. Every day he visualized 100 times this fight he has in front of him and how it's ending and how he's knocking out Sterling, right? And he was training this every day. And then you reach like a critical mass. If you train something, let's say go back to trading, if you backtest and re-engineer like over and over and over again, 100 times, 1,000 times, 2,000 times, it becomes a software program, right? And then you connect this with an emotion, like trading with a positive emotion. So this program then helps you to completely forget about time and like completely focus, but it's not your brain which is focused, it's your whole human being which is focused on this one task, right? So to answer your question, 10 minutes talking for nothing. First of all, I think you have to be able to quiet your mind. So you have to have the ability to really shut down whatever thoughts you have, which you normally train with meditation, breath work, something like that. Number two, you have to put in a lot of repetitions in whatever task where you want to enter into flow state. So you have to really sweat and earn and write a very good program, which would help you then to automatically execute those things. And the number three, whatever task you want to get into and you want to become successful, it has to be connected to a higher elevated emotion, a positive emotion. That's the three key things you need to do.